All right, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the Set and Forget podcast. We're in episode 8, and honestly, you guys got to stay tuned to the whole entire end of this video. I don't know what's about to happen, but I got one of the main goats, one of the people that have motivated me in my life to do many great things. He has pushed me to do many great things, always pushing my limits up. I personally have worked with him and his son on many projects. They've changed my life, so I'm very grateful to having you here today. So if you guys have Dr. G, the man, the myth, the legend. What's up, Doc? How's everything?
Well, let's classify this. Right now, it's actually Dr. Raul Gonzalez, right? So it's me, the person that people don't understand, because there's a difference between Dr. G Smile, that doctor, dentist, celebrity, etc., and the guy that is a father, the entrepreneur, the guy that is actually always looking after the people that are in our circles, and then extending my personality to those circles that I may never meet, because it's probably one of you guys. And then the legend, it's something that when people say, oh, the legend, you got to understand, who is the legend? Mm-hmm. To me, a legend would be something that did something so extraordinary, like Gandhi, mm-hmm. or perhaps somebody that actually did like the invention of the vaccine against malaria.
Okay.
Something that did change the world. We're still grinding. We're still in evolution. And when you actually put a title to yourself and you believe it, then I've seen a lot of people that they settle. And since I'm in constant evolution, I have to understand that we are in a progress mode all the time. We're in the learning mode all the time. And I learned so much from every one of you that it just makes me become a better person. Because at the end of the line, what are we? We are here competing with one another. No, we're competing to that person that you look in the mirror every morning. You want to say, I'm going to be better than yesterday because this is my one life, my one time opportunity. And that's what I do. Improve on a daily basis. Constant evolution.
Bro, it's crazy. Does not fail to not humble me ever, bro. This guy's always humbling me. All right. So, Choni, like you said, today you're Choni.
Say it. The people that really love me and have close in my circle, they call me Choni. And that's my birth nickname, literally.
All right. So you guys know, when you guys see him on the streets, call him with the Choni. You guys already know. Choni. So, Choni, now that we have you here, we're going to talk about a lot of things. There's a lot of things too. You've done many things. I have a lot of questions that I've asked you in the past, ones that I haven't asked you. And we're going to kind of touch up on a little bit of everything. So, I want to go from who you were before, celebrity dentist, entrepreneur, having many different ventures. Just your like this hungry mindset. Like, because for you guys that don't know, I personally, I sometimes trade there in New York or I trade there in London. Sometimes I'm doing both, but then I'll nap like throughout the middle of the day. And then this guy does not nap. Like, I'll be up during New York and I'll be up during London, and he's up during New York, London, Sydney, everything. He'll be up at night, up in the morning with the kids, doing smiles, and then at night he's up again. Like, this guy does not sleep. So like, where did that come? Like, that fire within inside of you? Like, what is it? Like, how do you not sleep? What do you do?
I think that it has to do a lot with, you said it's the mindset. Mm-hmm. It's the eagerness to find purpose in every second of my days, mm-hmm. on my life, of my hour. But that's something that I actually saw in my dad. My grandfather was the same thing. It's like the legacy of the Gonzalez has come from the fourth to the third to the second to the first upscaling generation. So we've always seen that. And I've seen my grandfather being passionate. I see my dad still at 75 almost being so passionate.
Super healthy.
And my dad, like, he works out every day, and he goes biking, and he does yoga. He goes to the gym, and he built his super duper training stations at the house. Whatever you've seen within your circle and it motivates you to do better for the next generation to come, you're responsible to hold on to those chains and try to emulate it faster. If you see something in your generation, your parents, your family, that it doesn't go along with growth, right? And it's kind of like keeping you stagnant, that is almost like stuck in the mud and you don't feel comfortable, you need to evolve, because maybe you're the reason why you're a change for the family. And I've seen that a lot. Some family members, they don't support, say, your training career. Mm-hmm. Oh, you have to be a doctor, you have to be a lawyer, you have to be an architect, you have to be a 5-year educational career process. Well, it's sustainable over time, mm-hmm. right? Because unfortunately in trading, the vast majority of traders, they don't sustain their careers because they think that it's going to be an overnight success. That doesn't happen.
No.
I was talking to you downstairs. It's like, it took me 20 years of hardcore grinding and a smarter progress mindset to be able to accomplish a lot of the goals that successful traders are accomplishing within 5 years, right? Mm-hmm. Like, look at you, look at my son, Raul. I learned so much. It's like, if I don't learn from you, then where am I taking my life to? Because I have younger kids coming up board and they see you as I want to be like Alex and Raul. Why, Papa? Because they go to sleep whenever they want to. They play video games and they make a lot of money too. And you're an inspiration. But as I am telling you, you're an inspiration. You guys have the core responsibility to understand that your behavior will be emulated by the millions. But those millions don't see you like I know when we don't sleep. So the question is, how much do you think that recovery for peaceful sleeping will wake you up the next day with enough energy to motivate yourself to accomplish something new? I mean, I'm in so many projects and I'm like, okay, where's my clone? My clone is always doing something else next to me. So you need to understand, we only have one life to do what we need to do. Are you going to sleep or are you going to grind? It's a question to ask. Then make a choice, because by tomorrow, somebody else is already doing what you wish you would have done already.
Yeah, if you don't do it, there's going to be somebody out there that's going to do it for you.
There's always somebody else doing it. That comes with another topic. How do you learn to delegate? Because as you grow, I mean, if you want to be a solo singer, you want to be a solo writer, if you want to be somebody solo doing something on your own, you're going to grow, right? But when you start opening opportunities for other people and you start diversifying your funding capital to invest in other people, now you can actually have more passive income within your same line of work, and you give opportunity for other families to improve, because as you bring new students, you're changing the families as well.
Yeah, that's something that I asked you, because for those of you guys that don't know, Tony has a book. I think you're coming out with book number 2, right?
Book number 3.
3. Oh, 3. You see what I mean? This guy
was sleeping. He was sleeping.
You see what I mean? Like you'll never know. So like for your book number 3, I kind of bumped into him, and in his HQ, he was basically kind of like recording some sections that you ask him a question of what you would want him to know. And I want to ask you again now, right? So for the people out here to know, so like to somebody out there that their business is growing, right? Because you have multiple different businesses. Just with the Smile Studios alone, if you guys have ever walked in there, there's like 40 people in there, like always doing something, right? So it's not like you wouldn't be able to manage that on your own. Like there's no possible way, right? So like I'm in a position right now where I want to add members to my team, but I don't know how to select those people. How do you go about selecting your people? Is it like a certain characteristics? Is it a personality? Do they have to match your energy? Do you have to educate them? Like how do you explain to them, or so for them to be where you are, grow the business with you as you grow them as well? How do you select those people? Because it's very important, because you're going to give them obviously your bread and butter.
People like you are doing what you're doing. So when you're looking into either employees or supporting team, you got to understand that expectations have to be met, right? You have to have proper books. You have to have either a team that manage interviews, or you will hire a company to get the profile of people, because a lot of professionals, especially doctors, but let's say any type of business line, you make a lot of error. You try, you make errors, and then you begin to make corrections. But that's the importance. What I always tell you, it's if you have proper funding capabilities and you have reserves, financial reserves to hire the right people at the right time, that's going to make your business grow as long as they're doing something that adds a value. Otherwise, they're taking down or away from your overhead. It's going to go higher. So I'll say it again. If your financial capability allows you to hire good quality people, you're going to make something extraordinary for your company if they bring something to improve and grow. Otherwise, they're taking away from your cash flow and your bottom end. So diversifying the company, it's with purpose. You have to have a business plan, a financial plan, and you have to look and audit their ability to grow it. And are they giving you the results that you're expecting? If you're not a manager, you hire a good manager. If you're not good for the books, meaning financial taxes, you have to have the good financial. That's the number 1 rule. Financial and taxes, number 1. Number 2, administration. Number 3, marketing. Then you come into, what am I going to be doing with these people? Am I going to compensate them with percentages, or am I going to compensate them with the salary? People in the salary, they tend to settle. When they give them the salary plus benefits plus bonuses and a percentage of growth, they may want to grind along with you. But then comes the personality types, A, B, C, D. Or comes the people eagerness. Where are you today? What do you see yourself? If they settle, like what was the first thing I told you guys? You have to push for independency. And then you gotta grind. It's not the toys that you get. It's where we're gonna be myself 5 and 10 years from today. And if you're able to answer that question, then you're better off than the ones that say, well, I'm not too sure. I'm like,
What do you do? What do you do with people like that? Do you just try to motivate them, or you push them aside, or you surround yourself with people that don't have that mindset? Because like I found myself with people that think like that. They're not gonna. If you can't change a person that doesn't want to change, but a person that wants to change with a negative mindset around them. What's the saying? If you're the fifth person of the 4 people you surround yourself with. So if you're around people that are negative, it's just not gonna happen.
You know, it's sad enough. I'm gonna tell you something that hurts me. Set and forget. You know, the people either have the values within them, or they will get the education. And over time, if they don't have it within them, it's non-sustainable. They will not change. They will not improve. And you can push them. You can give them all the benefits, right? And they will settle. And you will be the one not forgetting where you want to take them. But if you are the leader and you are leading by numbers, by statistics, by results, and you quantify the results based upon the negligence of time management. Listen to this, negligence of time management. If you think that time is not important, every second counts, like pennies count to the dollar. So every penny that counts to the dollar counts to the Benjamins. How do you see yourself spending the Benjamins on people that don't give you a penny, or investing qualifiable time on people that understand that every dollar will add to the Benjamins? So you put it in a balance. If they're subtracting your attention to what you're growing yourself, indirectly they're taking away from your bottom of your cash reserves. That means that either you're a giver, or they're stealing from you your time and money at the end, because they're not valuing your investment in these people. Mm-hmm. So grab a company, human resources, get a good company that will provide you the right people, or you have to start from scratch. And that's what you do. You're a student, you're creating a company, you have beautiful people surrounding you. Let them come to you and let them show themselves and prove themselves without a doubt that they're willing to go for the long run with the grind. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, it's going to cost you money. And replacement employees means education, training, certifications, and then you will give them accommodation, new computer, new desk, new everything else. Never mind if you start getting the new car and relocations and everything else, plus salary, bonuses. Everything costs money. Mm-hmm. But then, do they want that from you? Simple.
So talking about being a student, right? Like, you know, I want to say in the past 2 years, I've been a student, not only of like the markets, but of life. Life has taught me many lessons. You've helped me overcome some of them. Do you still go through lessons every single day? You have 6 kids, right? You have 6 kids. You just had Miranda. How old is Miranda?
Miranda is 2.5, almost 3.
2.5, almost 3 years old. So like I don't want to say how many lessons do you go, but like, I know you've gone through many lessons. You're involved in real estate, many different businesses. Yeah. Do the lessons tend to repeat themselves and you already know how to come about them? Or are they different every single time? Are they never changing? And do you see patterns on the things that you've, come across before?
Do you see patterns in trading charts?
Of course, yeah.
Okay, are there patterns predictable all the time?
Yeah, like you could predict the hurricane, the rain, stuff like that.
All right, you can predict it, right? But you don't know the damages at the end.
Okay.
Or you don't know the consequences if you actually shortcut or put a longer position. Mm-hmm. It could be better, it could be good, or it could be bad, right?
Okay.
Well, emotions are very different. Like, let's talk about the kids. My children it's like I have one heart, but it has 6 segments, one heart for each kid. Mm-hmm. And each one of them is a daily learning experience. 23, 22, 19, 13, 12, and 2 years old. Man, I can handle more.
This fucking guy.
I can handle more.
This guy can never stop.
And then to top to that, each generation comes with like 10 extra kids. I mean, look at all you guys, right?
Yeah.
And that's just how I see it, When you're a provider, you're not quantifying negativity. You're always looking into the good of people. And a person like me, I'm always pushing. If I see something good in you, I don't want you to think that it's good to settle. I'm not going to settle and forget. I'm going to push until I see you doing it. Mm-hmm. Because I know I have the potential plus a little bit of respectful influence, and I see the results coming on board. That's the motivation that gives me every day a different, not a challenge, but engaging into. Because I know that I have my ability to process each desire without stressing my functional system. And I'm able to accomplish my personal goals as I'm overseeing. It's like having multiple personality, right? And I'm able to see all my children, but I'm also able to see who's the circle that they're with that may affect them positively or that may endanger their future health or growth. And I'm going to be there. And you see me everywhere. Yeah. It's like, when you're a father, you lost the sleeping privileges. You can't do that. If you're a young father, or you're an adult, or you're an older father, it doesn't matter what it is, your kids are your priority. They're almost your essence, but there's also a lot of things happening, right? And that's how I saw my dad too. So it's like you said, my book. So my first book is The Mindset for the Adults. My second book was The Mindset and Becoming More Efficient. Because when you're a student, right? Let's say high school, middle school, high school, that's the book that I wrote for the second one. If you don't compete for the grades, and if you don't compete in sports, what are you learning from life? That it's okay to settle? It's okay to settle. We need people to settle so that they can become employees. Mm-hmm. Now, my employees, I empower them. I engage them into ownership of something within my line of businesses. That's how I sustain long-term employees. When they need to leave, they're welcome to leave. There's a statement that I always have. It's like, some people are welcome into my life, but some people are actually more welcome to leave. And they will leave on their own because I don't shut doors. As a matter of fact, that's very important. When you shut down doors, make sure that they don't affect your heart, because that's a distraction to your mindset.
I realize you're very forgiving. I've seen you in many different situations. You're very forgiving. You always believe that there's a second chance no matter what.
Second, a third, a fourth. The only one that can actually judge when to stop is actually God. We gotta have people support and love. But I'm going to tell you something. Forgiving doesn't mean forgetting. I will forgive because I've been forgiven before. But I will not forget because you said it before. It's okay to find errors from me or from you. And it's okay to repeat the errors. But the third time I'm thinking that, hey, this is taking advantage of me. So how much can you tolerate, support, and allow people to engage in negligent behavior that is going to distract you from your core values and it's going to distract you from accomplishing your goals? You don't want that. You want to put limits. And if you set the limit, it's simple. Parenthood, children. What does papi and mommy do to the kids? Yes, he's so baby. Oh, he dropped the milk. Oh, he threw the paper. Oh, he spat at the kid. And everybody laughs about it. Not me. I'm like, no, you don't do that. When they learn that there's discipline of the no, there's a limit. You get me? When there's a limit, they will learn to enjoy the benefits of the yes. The yes is a privilege, just like your driver's license, just like the ability to carry on a gun, right? To defend yourself. Well, there's a limit to that license. But if you learn the limits, you will not exceed on the privileges. And that's how I raised my kids, but that's how I was raised as well.
So how was it coming up? Like what was your journey before Dr. G, before, the whole entrepreneur? How was it? Because how many years you have to study to be a dentist?
Well, this is simple. Since we always saw my father competing in athletics.
Golf. He's really good at golf.
He's good at golf and he makes money at golf. But he was also a car enthusiast, just like my kids. He was Colombian, we're from Colombia born, national team for go-karts. He was one of the
That's
drivers.
Right, you guys race cars.
He used to be also a rally for Colombian team for Latin America. And then he used to do motocross. And I remember going to a track with my dad. So what did I learn? It's work hard, study hard, be successful, be competitive. Don't stop doing what you love to do. I brought my kids into the same level of mindset.
Yeah, same exact thing.
Yeah, so since I was 12, 13, I was always like attached to my father. This is that me and my brother, we were like so attached to my dad that we would kind of like every weekend, Saturday and Sunday, we would go to his different companies and just grind, put boxes together, pack stuff, look at the bills, learn accounting from so early, help us manage financial reserves. And everybody that it's in any business knows that there's up times and down times. When you have reserves, the down times are just for you to float, for you to rethink the channels, for you to invest more money into marketing, and then come out with a new strategy. That's the capacity that gives you financial knowledge. That's what I always tell you. You can put all the ice you want. You can put all the toys on the street you want. You can put all the properties to blast. But if your cash management is not balanced with cash reserves, the rest is just a facade. So keep in mind, balancing the equation of spending with saving, with enjoyment and long-term disability, because people don't think about that. Because all of you guys could be trading to them, be making a lot of money. But what if, God forbid, you go into an accident, you lose your ability to see, you lose the ability to move. If you don't have a long-term disability plan, it could be problems. So keep in mind, life is about risk management, ratios of rewards versus the ability to understand where am I today and where you're going to be when you 25, 30, 40, 50, 60. And then when you get to those levels, you better believe that you may have to have a new plan adjustment, right? So dentistry is a long career. I chose dentistry for two reasons. I wanted to be an entrepreneur, continue working with our family businesses and continue the legacy of my family. Honestly, I hated dentistry.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So there's only one dentist in my family.
Because you have great passion for it now.
Guys, anything you do in life, you put your heart. You add passion and you add competitiveness? Like the competition eagerness. Competitive eagerness, and you're going to make it. And it doesn't matter when, but you're going to make it. Whatever you do, you want to be the number one. Number two is the second position, but it's the first one to learn a new skill. To learn, why is it that guy is doing better than me? And I never took second position as a winner. Not even a third position in podium. Racing karts, racing go-karts, racing motorcycle, bicycling, track and field. It had to be number one position always. I was basically raised that way. And I felt the immediate urge to always do it. Now, throughout my schooling, I always wanted to be an architect.
Really?
That's what I wanted to do. We were, developing stuff.
I did not know this part about Tony.
Yeah.
I did not know.
An architect. And then it's funny because I would actually work in other family companies, right? Then I had to get my wisdom teeth out. And I hated dentistry because my pediatric dentist, she was pretty rough. Uh-huh. So I had bad experiences with her. I said, wisdom teeth, not fun, painful, but let's do it. My mother's uncle, he's, listen to this, 101 years old. Right now.
Right now, 101.
Post-COVID, his wife, unfortunately, passed away. Same as his daughter from different conditions. His son passed away just 2 years ago. And he's 101 years old still. I talked to him. But he was my coach, my mentor. So whatever you want to do in life, find a mentor. Find a coach that is passionate about what they do. His chairside manners were perfect. I felt nothing in the surgery. I said, I'm great at science. I love business, but I want to do something. Can I check you out? And I started doing this, and I became a volunteer at his clinic. And then I became a dentist afterwards. Wow. The only dentist in the family in this generation right now.
Wow. And then how did it grow into celebrity dentist? How did you get to meet? Because one thing is how do you surround yourself? Because I know you've done Shakira's teeth, Mark Anthony, Farruko's. You've done a good, serious amount of people. Like, how do you network yourself around these people? Is it a certain approach? Is it a marketing team? Is it just you're just being yourself out there and people like you because of who you are? How do you surround yourself with these type of people?
It's not about target market or position yourself with the marketing, because at the end of the line, you could invest hundreds of thousands of dollars in marketing, and if you don't provide the results, number one. Number two, your passion and compassion are two very important topics within any health field. You have to have the passion for your field. You have to be compassionate to the patients, and then you show the results. So within the process, I became very well known because of my results, not just for Smile Designs, but also for surgery. Remember, I hated dentistry, but I was raised by an oral surgeon in the field of dentistry. So I became very compassionate. And as a matter of fact, people don't know that I was offered a plastic surgery medical degree with oral maxillofacial surgeon and a master's degree by my university, Rutgers in New Jersey. And I said, no. I said, why? Because I don't want to work with people that they're asleep. I want to be able to enjoy you, and I want to change your life by taking away the fear. That's what motivated me to have multiple clinics.
No, and that's why you have that saying, eso es mental.
Eso es mental. It's a mindset process. Yeah. I will take away your fear because I will make sure that you trust my processes. Just like we say in trading, trust the process. In my field, I've always had that as my philosophy. Trust my processes because they have worked. 25 years of proven record that when you're compassionate and you're passionate about what you do, it'll show. So all these people, you are a celebrity, he's a celebrity, she's a celebrity, everybody's a celebrity in my practice, because you are all treated equally with same compassion, with the same material, the same treatment, and everything else. The difference is when you start being recognized by the public and they acknowledge what you've done, and then you get invited to all these social events and the red carpets and in the Las Vegas, New York, Miami, and everywhere else. And now you are a public figure. Now you have a choice. Do you want to be a clown? Do you want to use it as to an advantage to be famous? Or do you want to continue the grinding, knowing that now you have a higher responsibility because you have an outreach that is larger? And I was always very humble. My profession, I respect. I don't take jokes. I don't allow jokes about my profession. because it's an extension of my heart, my passion. When you respect your career and you respect your job, which fits the many, and I'm responsible for 50 families within my business, 50 different employees on that particular line of business that we have, I will enjoy it. I will have fun, but I will not allow disrespect from anybody. And that's what I tell people. You're a lawyer, respect the people, respect your customers, because things that go come back to you. And, you know, after a few years, things happen.
Yeah, I hope you guys are taking notes, because the amount of gems is, I'm going to watch this for sure back 2 or 3 times. So, I mean, that's pretty interesting when it comes to kind of like, I did not know that you were going to be an architect. You got presented at this whole entire degree. So, I mean, within those studying of how many years was it? 8 years, 9 years?
Literally, this is the key, guys. Remember something that I said before, and I always say it. It's a mindset. Mm-hmm. Efficiency versus the time frame that it will take, the average versus successful people. I will take the car in a racetrack and I will study the track and I will study the car until I make that car function and perform to the highest capability to earn the first place. Same in my career. I was able to do college in 2.5 years. Full-time, working full-time within the college and also working outside in retail stores. So I was always grinding. It's nothing that came on me because you saw me later. No, always. And college was really quick to me. I was easy because I was taking 23, 24 credits within permission. You know, normal people take 12 credits. Mm-hmm. When you're kind of like above the average, 15 to 18, and that's a lot. I was taking 21, 22. I'm fighting to get more classes.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but I would record the classes. At my time, there was no the new technology. You know, let's just keep it like that.
Probably had a beeper. Did you have a beeper?
I had a beeper, man. But this is the key.
Was there ever within that, you know, that time that you were studying, like, did you ever feel like it was too much, you were gonna quit? No, right? Because you're asking for more, right? Yeah, you got
always asking for more. Always wanted more, and it's hard to say, because do you settle when you're satisfied, or do you find the higher enjoyment as you continue improving on yourself? It's a day-to-day competition with me against me for my better be. Yeah. I don't compete, and I don't care what other dentists do. I have all the line of businesses that give me, you know, support and financial comfort to be able to do whatever I want. But I respect each one of my line of businesses. Now, I made it efficient because I was able to, not cram, but I was able to accommodate more classes. And I was able to find study quality time, work full time, also be a mentor, student, they call it a student tutor. And I was able to enjoy, go to the gym, go mountain biking, play sports, go to the clubs and everything else. But my respect for my profession, because I had a goal. I want to get this done as soon as possible. When I went to dental school, it's a mandatory 4 years program. Well, Dr. G, the savage, I did it in 3 years. So I went to the dean of the school. And by the way, I was class president, a student government association director. I was the Hispanic Dental Association president for 2 years. I was the American Academy of Dental School representative for 3 years. Like, I was involved in everything. All of this, and they call it an achiever, or I don't know.
Overachiever, yeah, overachiever.
Overachiever, and I'm like, it's not about an overachiever. It's about the desire to learn, and like the eagerness to, like, the more I learn, the more I meet, the more I wanted to engulf more stuff for me. You know.
So how does it feel now, right? Like, do you feel like, obviously you're not done. I know I'm not saying you're done. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. I know.
Not at all.
There's no putting out your fire, Raul's fire. There's no putting out none of that.
Nah, that doesn't happen.
When are you gonna get to the point you're gonna be like, all right, I've done good enough, or I'm satisfied, or like where yeah, like what point would you tell yourself, all right, I'm gonna slow it down, put it on cruise control? At what point do you get to enjoy yourself? Because to this day, you still grind very, very hard. I see it every single day. So what point, because you have many assets, you have all the toys you could ask for, you have, you know, the HQ, you have all the cars, you've had the trips, like at what point would you tell yourself, all right, this is enough, time to chill?
All right, guys,
this is going to be interesting.
Do we want the ice cream to melt, or you want to eat it quicker and then go back for more ice cream? I'm going to be the ice cream maker. I don't want to eat the ice cream you bring me. I'm the ice cream maker for my peace, for my love, for my energy to be continually building. I'm like, you know, the way it feels is like, why do you have to wait for things to settle when there's so much around you? Like, I balance life by making efficiency of my time. For instance, give an example, smile design. People take 7-8 hours to do smile design. I've developed techniques that are so specific that I can do it in an hour and a half. So I can do 3 smile designs within what people do for one patient. Then what do? Go to the yacht, go to, enjoy with you guys, go out. And I did what I had to do. With investments, I look at the investments, I put the chunk, I do the trade, and I walk out, or I leave it for the long run. There's things that you need to do, but you have to quantify time in one life. I'm able to enjoy nature and able to enjoy my kids. And you got to put the shoes of the person to be able to say, is it for real? Wear my shoes for the day. That's what I tell my staff. Wear my shoes for the day. Forget about the hat. Wear the shoes.
Just the shoes.
Just the shoes.
Not even the hat. Okay.
Yeah, just wear the shoes. Walk my steps. And if you're able to keep it up, you're able to criticize. If you're not able to keep it up, better find your own ways, because you need to leave behind solid like grounds for people to follow through. That's my employee management technique. But for my children, I need to fast track to Raul, because this kid is flying. Raul is like at another level. And then I'm with Christian, he's going to be handling all the real estate and all the other stuff. And then I got my daughter Sophia with what she wants to do right now. She's about to graduate from high school. She's like my bright kid as well. And then I got the little ones going through from the process of elementary to middle school, and then transition. And they're like, already, Dad, we know what we want to do. And what do you want to do? We don't want to be a doctor. Why? Dad, because you work too much. And I said, but I'm passionate.
Yeah.
Okay, we want to make money like my brother, and we want to enjoy life, and want to still play video games. So they put the Oculus, said, oh, you're going to be another metaverse silly one. Oh, said, oh yeah, but it's okay. Their time has come. Mm-hmm. And the time will come, but I'm sitting them just like when Raul and Christian were 13, they were building computers and selling them online. They were actually modifying controls to make it more efficient, because they were in young entrepreneur programs at home. We were talking and engaging in conversation. They would look at the videos of our other venues and other companies, and they were always being inducted or invited to be part of the family traditions. And you know what they said to me? This is funny. I learned from this. When your father tells you, you have to be a doctor, you have to be a lawyer, you have to be a this. You know what my two kids told me, Roland and Christian? They were like 13 years old. He's like, Dad, so how many years did you study? Well, about 7, but most people do it in 9, 10 years, right? What I did in 7, people take 10 years. And then how many hours do you work? Well, when I started working, I was working Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, golf, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday off. Then unfortunately, my life changed because I went through a divorce. Life started for me 13, 14 years ago from zero. So if I was able to do it from zero, again, 14 years ago, and triple my position as I am right now, grinding smarter, I became more efficient because now I had my 3 kids to pick up and enjoy. Then I had a new family, 2 kids, and then a 3rd baby. So what do? Are you going to be a babysitter for 6 kids in 1 hour each one? Or you kind of like, play golf everywhere? Mm-hmm. So that's what I did. I learned to cope. So they told me, so Dad, you're working about 6-7 days a week? I said, not really, but you can say that. And you're spending so much time. They said, we don't be like you. We don't want to be a doctor. But don't worry about it, because whatever we find, we're going to be successful. Because we've seen the values of what you do. And we see how it gets done. And I know it doesn't take more science to know that it's about time and grind. And I said, oh, shit.
Oh, these guys are going to
These guys are going to be crazy. And guess what? They're doing it. So my dad tells me the other day, so how much did Raul sell the car for? This much. How did he get it for? Sheesh, so he made $200,000 on the sale. Yeah, Dad, he did a nice trade. He's like, oh, carajo. You know how Latino parents go, oh, carajo. It's like, oh, caramba. Yeah. And it is all like that. Find value in whatever you love to become. Find a good coach, find a good mentor, somebody that inspires you. Like, I'm not inspired by the average dentist. I'm not inspired by somebody that has more money than me. I'm not inspired by anybody that has more material possessions, because think about it. If I have a 60 feet yacht, my friend has a 300 feet yacht right now in Dubai, in the area of, and there's always somebody having so much more than you. I'm inspired by people that have done something extraordinary for mankind. Whereas I'm also not motivated when I see that the one person can destroy mankind and can destroy what many have worked for centuries. So that's what we need to worry about. What the adults, and you guys are adults already. Mm-hmm. You are the inspiration of the future. Put that into your stamina. You are the inspiration of the future, because you have millions of kids online looking at your YouTube, looking at your Instagram, looking at how you behave socially and how you grind and you make your money, and they want to emulate that. Just like musicians are followed by certain number of people, you guys are the present inspiration to the world. Either make it professionally and respect your profession, respect how the money's coming in today, because guess what? You can be shut down overnight if there's no more internet.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
So, and this is an important topic that I wanted to bring up to you. Assets. What do you call assets?
Oh, I consider an asset anything that holds value or puts money in your pocket.
Grab it. And how do you put money in your pocket if the asset is non-tangible?
Well, that's where you get, these are higher risk assets. Okay.
All right. Such as?
You know, the whole crypto space, NFTs, everything.
Right.
Altcoins.
So, my suggestion for long term, because we're talking about business and growth and everything.
Of course.
Tangible assets are assets that you can see, physically touch, in quotes, say the gold, properties, cars, jewelry, and so many other tangible assets. The intangible, which is a beautiful transition from the tax department, financial department to the world, I've considered that the trading. Right? The intangible assets will give you financial growth. It will give you an ability to diversify that trade, the capital, and the earnings into another asset. Transfer assets from the intangible world to the tangible world so you have security. And that's the key in life. Build security by diversifying your portfolios. Whatever you make in this beautiful world that catapults income for you and for your family. For you and your family, make sure that those, let's call it dividends, the ability to take away profits, put it into a different venue, different portfolio, let it grow in a tangible manner. So you have both worlds. And that's what you're responsible for.
Yeah, you always tell me, put the money into something you could grab. Always have the title. For example, I personally, you're always telling me, pay off the Rolls Royce. By the way, I have his Rolls Royce. So I have a lot to look up to when it comes to what like I do in the Rolls Royce. So like, you're always telling me, pay off the Rolls Royce, pay off the Rolls Royce. But
what does it feel to be in the Rolls?
Feels really good. Not gonna
Why?
lie. Because it's just, I mean, I personally like the bigger cars better. It's just a lot more comfortable. You get me? The fast
You're
cars.
such a Latino. He thinks that bigger, better. Well, it works.
I mean, no, but it's just like, it's very comfy. You know, you can cruise in it. But you're always telling me, pay off the Rolls and then, you know, move on to your other stuff. So I own some real estate. I own some, you know, other assets. Now that you say that, it kind of makes a lot more sense because like I see the car as a liability. You know what I'm going through the McLaren. I still, you know, I'm waiting through the whole McLaren. So technically,
choices,
circles. Well, it's the people you surround yourself with. If you surround yourself with not the best people, you get the results. But like you said, never-ending journey. You always you always learn.
It's a learning daily process.
So now I know whoever I surround myself next, I see the patterns. How you say you see the patterns and the characteristics and the energy, and then I know what to do in that situation, right? But you know, everything happens for a reason. That's the way that I see it. So I mean, I kind of like that you pointed that out because I personally myself, obviously, my side of the business is the online business. So obviously, I'm going to be pushing for online stuff, but I don't think the internet's going to go anywhere anytime soon. No. But
what I'm saying
it's a possibility,
everything is a possibility, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you have unfortunate people in other parts of the world without actually putting names or situations, and they lost everything. And the only way that they're going to move on is by having their intangible assets somewhere else. You agree? So obviously people are using crypto, and if you have trading abilities and you have the patterns to make money, that's an intangible asset that you can transfer everywhere in the world. Because if you have real estate in those regions, it's gone. The only thing you hold on is to the land if it's not taking over. So keep in mind, thinking about long term, it's about how do you balance risk that you can manage and the one that you will never be predictable about. War, political situations, life-changing events, disease, sickness, that is something that is unpredictable, right?
Like the whole coronavirus, the war. And
but then, I mean, some people made it better through the coronavirus, unfortunately, than other people. It's all about how do you see a situation and how you find solutions. Because it doesn't matter who you are or the line of business that you are. There's always smarter people thinking about solutions before the problems come. And when the problems come, you need to adapt your business modality or your personality to be able to cope and come out as a winner. You're racing a car, you're having the bad tires, you're not having the best tires. You need to take advantage of the tires in the best momentum where you're in the track. Same as life. But the key here is diversify the ability to fund yourself in different venues. You have to relocate quick. So if you're making money in the world of investments and you're changing people's life and you are responsible for thousands of students, do you know how it feels at 21, Alex? Yeah. I mean, like, I am so proud because I've seen that whatever little bit I can contribute, you guys, and I gave ample opportunities for everybody to teach me so that I can actually speak the same language and be able to learn more and transfer more. It's kind of like a symbiotic relationship. He's good, I'm better, he's better, and he's better in everybody. Just like when you're listening to his daily communications on whatever media you're doing, right? But you're responsible for them because now your word is very powerful and your results outspeak for themselves. That's why you have been able to upscale your life. But with that comes knowing that all your students are successful, and that's life-changing. That's to admire, that's to respect. And that it's non-quantifiable. People don't understand how much you put into doing all of this. Being here, taking all this time to share our passion and our mutual respect means a lot. Some people will, they're going to be criticizing, but that's a little bit making the noise.
Yeah.
Hating, as I said before, people that hate, they lack the ability to accept that they can learn something to improve their lives. So they keep the acidity because they feel better surrounding themselves with that type of circle. Stop the hate, put the love, put the respect, and be humble, asking, I would like to learn from you. I would like to learn something new. I wish I could get where you are at one point and just be patient. But you got to put the time because these kids put 20 hours a day. If it's not throughout the actual training work, you're thinking, you're processing. Thinking is time. And time is
valuable. It's very valuable.
Very valuable.
To wrap it up, I want you to give the listeners out there top 3 advices you would give to them when it comes to finances, struggles they would go through their life, and then to what they should do, for future investments coming into the future. What do you see they could capitalize? So that's 3 different ones.
Look, separate them.
Okay.
Number 1, you have to be happy. You have to be healthy, and you have to have the right mindset for anything and everything. To that comes that you have to be financially responsible. You have to have a financial plan for the good and the bad times and for the long run. And you have to enjoy life within your financial ability. We agree to that, right? Mm-hmm. And then when it comes to family, always remember you're not a solo ranger anymore. You're responsible for upbringing your children to standards so that they can become self-sufficient, responsible individuals, people that they will have earned their own respect. And then when it comes the right time, I'm going to be a grandpa, unfortunately so early, but I'm very happy. You want to make sure that the values instilled in the generations behind you are going to have an equal or a superior projection to grow, to respect, and to be faithful to the laws of the Lord up there. Because that's the judgment time. The rest, you can do whatever you want in life. But if you're not happy and you're not respecting God's laws, believe it or not, somebody's gonna pay for your mistakes.
That's interesting. Savage. Yeah. This guy. And then what do you recommend to people that they're looking to capitalize off any future potential investments? What do you recommend to them? What do you see you potentially future investing into, and that they can potentially capitalize?
All right, invest in yourself. Sure. Invest in your education. Invest in your smile. Come on, man. When you smile, you open doors. It's not just getting out of the Rolls Royce, right? And then you need to know your limits. Very importantly, look, I could be here talking about selling my books and selling my products and selling my companies and everything else, but I'm talking about you, the individual. Know who you are. Know what you're worth for. We're not cut the same, but that doesn't mean that you don't have the ability to learn the new skills. If you want to diversify into different investments, be very good at the one that is making you the money. Because at the end of the line, my best trade, my best investment, my best of everything is called Dr. G Smile. Mm-hmm. And that's the one that has learned that by producing enough and giving back much more to my foundation and to my employees and everything else, all my other companies are grinding already along my path because my mindset is like that. But never lose track that whatever is making you the initial and most fortifying cash flow, do not get distracted. And don't use that cash flow to put it into a risk parameter management. Make sure that you allocate funding. I take 50% of every dollar into my balance security. 25% I use it for 25% moderate securities and investments. And 25% I use it for aggressive and savage behavior. And that's what I do with everything in my life. My nutrition has to be 50% solid to support my core and my health. 25% I may get a distraction. And the other 25% I may, get a little bit of a burger with these kids.
Oh, I eat very healthy.
Yeah, I'm going to put on my social media without bullying and without disrespect when they go to eat. And anyhow, And that's how I've done all my life. 50% of my time has to be very secure, has to be for something that I know is going to give me peace of mind. The other 25%, I'm going to give moderate risk. I'm going to be able to be here and take time away from my family to share with my digital family, with all you guys as well. Mm-hmm. But the other 25% at one point is going to be very selfish. What's left for me? So that little bit that I give for me is what takes 100% of my energy and focus, and I don't allow distractions. Don't distract the time that you know is the most valuable for you. Wow. People say in business, give 90% attention to the 10% of income producing customers. I give 50% attention to 50% of everybody, because the other 50% I'm thinking, what am I going to do to make my 100%, right? 100% attention given, but it's taking 10% of my time. And I know it's all equations of mathematics, but in my mindset, I know that if I can take 10% of my time, I'm making 100% efficient for you, and you. I don't have to classify my customers. You are all the same to me. In my heart, one delivery.
That is crazy how you put the 50%, 25, not only for the business, but for yourself, for your life. Guys, shout out to Dr. D for making it out of here till 25% out of your day. Thank you very much for dropping all of these gems. I hope to see you in another episode. Thank you for all the gems, Doctor.
We will part 2, and we will not set and forget. We will set, right and grind.
Right and grind. If you guys know anybody with Happy Dad, let's get it.